We are now live.
Say well.
Yes, sir. Live as can be. You ready for this?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Somebody's phone just went off. Was that yours?
I got mine in my hand.
Oh, my iPad. We got 2 viewers. You want to talk to them?
Sure. Why not? Ugh.
Go. "17 viewers. Gene Barber.
We're getting there.
Mom, what's up? We need another lasagna. That's what we need up here. What do you think?
That would help.
Shane needs some motivation.
Oh, I'm motivated. Jack Hartzell, good evening.
Tim Harrington. Jeff Murray.
What are we going to lie about tonight?
Murray, we need some more of that summer sausage.
It didn't stand much of a chance, did it?
No. You ate half of mine with me, and then turned around and took yours home, so I didn't get any of yours.
I took mine home to my daughter.
Did she kill it?
Yeah, she likes it.
Mm.
Then I went and killed a deer, took it to the processor, so it's at the processor now.
Yeah, Mom, if you're free to make lasagna next week, sure, why not? Tim Kelly. All right, Shane. We got 39 people.
I'm trying to share this video with my followers. It's not sharing.
I've already shared it.
I have trouble with this thing.
Let me see what you got here.
That's all right. We'll be all right. You
Here,
didn't share
just
it.
click this button.
That's
right?
what I did.
No, that button.
Oh, I hit the wrong share button.
There you go. Now you can go all down through your list.
Oh, you done shared it all.
Did
I
I?
don't have much of a list.
Oh. All right.
I was going to share it to my Facebook page.
Well, you need some help doing that too?
Yeah, bro.
Right there.
Right here?
Yep. There you go.
No, okay.
All right. 45 people now.
I learned something tonight. Cool.
Did you?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. All right. Okay, so here we are.
You good?
Minus Brandon.
Brandon, yep. Everybody say a prayer for Brandon and his family tonight. He lost a very close member of the family. His dog Boomer passed away today. So he's doing the family thing, being there to support the wife and kids and comfort them in this time of loss. We've all been there, so let's say a little prayer for Brandon's family.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lord. Tim, I apologize. I'm sorry. I was talking to everybody, man.
Are you rude?
I didn't mean to be if I was.
Oh.
I try to talk to everybody.
You're like me. I've had people come up and talk to me. Oh man, I watch podcasts. I'm like, I don't know who you are.
But
give me a name, something
but
like.
thank you. We
thank you. Appreciate it.
We
So
appreciate it.
if you catch us off guard, do understand this is virtual, so you might have to throw a name out there so we recognize everyone.
All right. So where are we going to start?
We could talk about the shellacking on the lake this weekend.
Which one?
All of them.
What are you talking about?
You know, Tater had to run at Norman.
Tater is on it.
Is it Tater or is it his partners?
I think it's a combination.
Is it?
I mean, you got to give it to Tater. He spends a lot of time out there, more time than most. He's one of those guys. I don't ever practice. Yeah. Tater practices a lot.
Well, I mean, when you don't have a job because you can't make baits in the wintertime.
That's right, Tim. If we were talking about that stupid Alabama rig, I was probably talking about how much I hate it. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Keith? All right. So, anyway, Tater Hogg was 2 for 2 on the weekend. He slapped them boys around. Slapped me around on Sunday. But my biggest thing is I'm going to have to get out there and practice a little bit because the way I used to catch fish, I can't catch them like that anymore. These fish are anti-jig. I don't know why, if they're on a jig-free diet or crawdad-free diet or whatever they are. I'm having a hard time getting them to bite the jig.
This fall was very pitiful with the jig.
It has been.
I mean,
even back from
October when you're supposed to catch them on a jig.
Yeah, well, I mean, even before that, like during the open, usually it's a jig and a buzzbait deal. I mean, Cody Hoyle wound up winning on jig, but golly, I caught 2 fish in 2 days, and the rest of them on stupid drop shot.
Yeah.
I mean, the two I caught on jig were both big ones, but still yet. I mean, you got to catch 15, not 2.
No, I don't know. I know this. October, November for me out here, it was not good for a jig.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I can't get a bite on a jig either.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I know they did bite a shaky head a little bit. I hate to admit it.
I just have to hear that from somebody because
I know.
Probably not going to do that either.
Well, how many times you got to get beat before you finally break down and say enough's enough?
Well, here's the thing. If we're fishing a multiple day tournament, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
If I'm fishing a single day tournament, I'm probably not going to pick up the weenie rod.
Swing for the fence.
That's right. I mean, I've had my butt whipped by the best, from the worst to the best, whatever. It's all right.
It happens.
Who was that? Darren said he caught a couple on jig that he weighed.
I mean, there are been some fish caught on jig.
Oh, I mean, there's always a few caught on it, but not
that's
like
not been the commanding
like
favorite.
No, that's normally the ticket to win, and so far it hadn't been for me.
Either that or too many people have figured out the special docks, and it's time to go find new special docks.
Yep.
You threw a shaky head in a pond at Bass Pro?
I did. I didn't have a rod. I didn't have. Yeah.
Like grown-ups?
I hooked old big. It came off, of course, on shaky head. That's why I hate that stupid thing.
Well, you'll have that. So
but anyway, back to Tater Hog.
I mean, there's not much more to say.
I mean, I tried to get him on the show tonight to see if he could give us a little insight about it, but I think he's scared.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's scared.
I think he's still trying to do CPR on Chinaman. I don't know.
He's scared of that too.
Yeah, well. Rick Ryan didn't go where I told you. Did he tell you where to go?
He told me where to go.
He didn't tell me where to go. I don't know.
You probably don't need to know anyway.
Probably not. Probably not. If it involves Lake Norman, you're right.
Yeah, Rick, I tried all over the place. My dad and I jumped in the Super 60 on Saturday, and I want to say Philip McClung won. Don't hold me to that, but I think he did. He had 12 something. The second place was only 10. We had about 8.5, and I threw them back.
Where at when?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Went out of Beatty's Ford. And yeah, Rick, I run a bunch of that stuff, trying different things, this, that, and the other, and I couldn't never make anything better.
Jody, you're right. 12 months out of your jig will prevail. Yeah, you're right, but I can tell you this: you hadn't been to Wiley or Norman recently. Maybe any other lake, but here, not here.
I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just me, because I mean, I've tried everything from my regular jig to the Rockstar jig to whatever jig you can think about, from big to little, little to big, whatever. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Maybe you're not throwing a big enough jig. Maybe they're on the lobster bite.
Maybe I need to go to a
real
big bulky jig.
Yeah.
Those are hard to skip though.
They can be.
That's right, Derek. I broke down Sunday and went to the river, and we did catch us 11 pounds. Never had opportunity at a big one.
No freebies tonight, Jack. We're going to talk about crankbaits here after we discuss the weekend tournaments.
The debacle of everybody.
I'm gonna tell you,
the Tater Hog onslaught. He's kind of very quietly taking over Lake Norman this winter.
You better watch out. That points thing may get real interesting towards the end of the year.
Man, right now he's got a pretty big lead right now, and I mean with Jason Jason's not putting it up, but Jason's Trail putting up $1,500 for the points champion. I can't even talk. For the points champions, it's It's a pretty good deal.
You better step up your game, sir.
I know. I mean, this week I look at it as a win because I didn't lose as many points to him this weekend as I have been the last 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I know this. This has been an odd year. We kind of accelerated into the wintertime. I mean,
we did. It went from 80 degrees to 70 degrees to 50 degrees.
It was a big jump.
Really, really quick.
Which I think the fish are now start to adjust to.
Well, and then it's going to be 75 this week.
Yeah, but the nights are still cold enough. I don't know that it'll necessarily mess up the fishing.
Jacob, I'm glad you like it, man. I hope you didn't have any trouble learning to tie. If you do, we're here. Stop by, and I'll do what I can to make it out for you. It's pretty easy not to tie, and it's by far the strongest.
Yeah,
so
that is a good knot.
Anyway, so what happened at Wiley? I mean, Norman was pretty short and brief. Tater Hog whipped everybody all weekend.
No, I mean, Wiley's just as brief. Britt Meyer showed up because he heard there was a bounty on Gene Webster, and I'm not an authority on this, but I feel like Gene having company on the lake didn't help Gene's cause.
Absolutely.
And
that's happening at Norman too.
Well, it's a rotation game. I think if you're the first in a rotation, you're good. If you're second and third in a rotation, you're good for 12 pounds.
Yeah. You're probably going to get your butt whipped.
Yeah, you have to change zip codes and go find some new. Alan Cook, I don't know that a bass will ever get wise to seeing a jig. I just think that what they're eating right now is not shaped like a jig.
Well, I can tell you this. I caught my biggest fish on Saturday was about it was 2.5 to 2 3/4 pound spot. And as spots do, you know, when you're fighting them, reeling them in, they tend to regurgitate things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had one. He threw up 3 brim that were about that big. He threw up 3 brim and a Cinco.
3 brim and a Cinco.
I told my dad, I said, look, I think just threw up a Cinco. And for whatever, I don't know, most of the time, this time of year, they're eating brim, but they're usually this big. So I don't know what's going on.
I really think this year everything's a little smaller. You look at the shad, they're smaller. The brim you see around the bank are smaller. Gene, I see you there. I'm going to get to you in a minute. Hang on a second. And the crawfish the fish that have thrown up crawfish, like in the Federation tournament for me, were that big.
Little bitty ones.
Little baby, itty bitty crawfish. I don't know that you can make a jig that small.
Well, you could make one that small, but you have to throw it on a spinning rod, and you don't want to do that on a 2.5 pound spotted bass under a dock.
Yeah,
so he's going to take your crap.
Round the pole, round the other pole.
He gone.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Gene, I'm glad to hear. I mean, I know that there's fish all over the lake, and I know Britt puts his time in.
Yeah, I don't think that was meant as Britt was fishing your fish. Jim.
No, when you have 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys that kind of get the drift of what's going on, you got to be in the right area.
Well, the thing about it is you're right, but
some people just get that special bite.
That helps, and that's kind of.
But they had all 5 of the same size. Like
they were all almost 17 something.
They had 16, 29.
I just seen they had one big spot.
They had a 4-pound spot, and the rest of them were slot 3-pounders.
Chunky, largemouth, like
big old fat ugly.
The ones that used to live in Wiley.
Yeah, the fish you don't ever see until the wintertime. It's like, where'd these come from? And then they disappear again.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, it's nice to see Wiley fish start to bite a little bit.
So with Britt and little Britt taking the bounty down on Gene, is the next bounty going to be on the Myers clan?
Lee told them that was the deal. Now whether or not that sticks, we'll see. December.
Well, surely Britt won't be a sissy and wuss out.
He's not going to back down from it. I doubt he'll back down from it.
I know he won't. I'm just kidding.
But he might. You never know.
No, if he's home long enough to have time.
I just hope it gets a little bit colder.
You think?
Just a little bit colder.
Think it's gonna matter?
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Well, what's the water temperature out there right now?
It was 54, 55. The warmest I saw was 57. But the stars are starting to align. You see bait grouped up. You see birds. It's
Not
wintertime.
really. All I see is that stupid A-rig flying through there. It's dumb.
I agree. But the question that I pose to everyone is, are you going to continue to get beat by it? Or are you just going to suck it up and go do it?
Me personally, I'm just hard-headed like that.
I know.
And I will probably, as dumb as it is, continue to get beat by it.
Well,
because it's principle.
Listen, the
It's
A-rig,
100% principle.
the A-rig will play for a little while, and then every fish in the lake will have seen 400 of them, and then jerk baits and grubs and
Then they're going to get on that.
little crankbaits and that sort of
And
thing.
when they get on that, that's when I catch up in the points. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll see.
I don't doubt it.
You'll see.
I don't doubt it. Honestly, I think if fish didn't see a jig for a week or 2 or 3, it would help things.
Say that again. Do what now?
What if everybody just swore off throwing a jig for 2 weeks, and then go out there 2 weeks from now? It might help.
Man, I'm just going to tell you, you said some dumb crap, but that's it. That is
I know.
right through the top 5. That's all the way to the top.
Listen, I got one on
People
the deck of my
going to throw
boat.
a jig.
You go out to my boat right now. There's a jig on the deck. Did I throw it? Yeah. Did I get bit on it? No.
Why not? How many times did you throw it?
I threw it under a bunch of key dots.
Oh, gosh. Whatever.
They want to know what bait that is.
I can't tell you, Gene. It's a secret. That's my favorite line. It's a secret.
Yeah.
That bait there is just a demon-colored DT6. We got these baits laid up here tonight just to... we're going to talk about some wintertime crankbaits. You know, we did a jerk bait show the other night. The last one was A-rig, and this one's going to be on shallow water and wintertime cranking. And we just got this, some examples up here just to talk about. But before we get into that, I got to keep giving David a hard time.
It's par for the course.
Nah, I know.
Every day, all day.
That's right.
I did have a request for a jig episode.
Oh, yeah?
I did have a request this weekend at the tournament. Dave Calvert asked us to do an episode on a jig.
Okay.
Which will fall under your wheelhouse because evidently I just suck at throwing a jig.
I suck at it too, actually, because I ain't caught crap on it either.
I hadn't caught a fish on a jig in a month.
Yeah, Lord. Well, I guess since are there any other tournaments we missed out on?
Black Friday tournament. Who won the Black Friday tournament?
That's funny, Justin. All of us don't have 42,000 mutts to throw, so we got to throw a DT6. If you would like to donate some mutts, we would graciously accept. That guy's got like the biggest collection of Zoom crankbaits in the world.
Used to.
No, he still does.
Well, okay. He does now. I used to have a pretty solid one, and then I decided I was going to sell them for some odd reason.
That was dumb.
Because literally 2 weeks later, Ed passed away.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Oh no!
It was one of those deals. It was one of those deals, like 450 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
4 complete sets, E2s, Z2s.
Oh, all the good ones.
I had complete color set. It was bad. Bad deal.
Mm-mm.
Not one of my finer moments.
You'll have that though.
Yeah,
it's,
Jody, DT8 should ship beginning. Well, it is the beginning of December.
Yeah, they said December.
So soon they should start shipping.
Hopefully, we would all like to get our hands on some.
Yeah, for real. Let's see here. Any other random things before we dive into this? We'll call it the great crankbait discussion.
Crankbait debate.
I don't know that there's a debate.
Yeah, sure it is. Some people like the DT6. Some people like the rock crawler or the old wiggle water, if you're fortunate enough to have some, or the old standby that happens to be a speedy, not a speed trap.
Jerry Bono, we're still working out the logistics of Wednesday.
Yep, we got to figure that out.
Not saying it's not. It's just we got to work out the logistics. Keith the bows. We don't talk about flat A's.
But if you got any of those, we'll take those too.
All right, so
Fret sides. Let's
Don't-
talk about that a second. Pros and cons of the fret side. The fret side, which was initially a plastic mutt.
yeah, but see the frit side, I think the big push with that, really and truly, was not the number 5. Okay, the David Fritz is known for throwing that 7 to 9, 10 to 12 tap style plug. I don't think that number 5 was really meant to be the poster child, but I think it turned into a monster, and nobody knows what to do with a 7 and a 9, so they throw the 5 and it catches fish.
Okay, so what's some of the good stuff and bad stuff about it?
I haven't thrown one enough to know.
Well,
I will say that. I mean, I have not thrown that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the fret side for me is terrible about breaking a lip. It's to me worse than the DT6. You hit it on, you hit it off a rock or whatever. You come back,
Lip. She gone.
He gone.
Yeah, Derek broke 2 lips off in a Friday night fish off.
Yeah, but the pros to it is, if you can keep from breaking the lip off, that's a fish catching bait.
Well, I think the objects throw it in the water, not in the rocks.
Yeah, look, the bills suck. They break easy.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings. So did the Zoom baits.
What?
Ed Chambers bait. You lose a bill in those fairly quickly too.
Man, I've got some mutts that I've nearly ground the bill off of.
I'm not necessarily talking to mutts. The mutts, the way they're built, they stay together. But E2, you can lose a bill out of an E2 real quick.
Probably.
I've done it. I've done that.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible,
but
it's also possible to drag a DD22 across the Buster Boy Bridge too. But,
Gene Webster does bring up another point.
What?
The fritz side will cast.
Yeah.
There's no potato chip about it whatsoever. It will
Right.
cast.
Do I need to go over and get one of those?
I was wondering.
Since
You
I
brought all this
since I
over
don't
here.
have one.
You didn't bring any of
Well,
them.
it's really not my favorite, so. But I will go over here and grab a couple right quick.
Go grab the Brian B's the wood. You know which one.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess you guys get to look at my ugly mug for a minute. Somebody said Carolina Killers. Jeff Murray, of course. Yeah, you would say that because you are from that area of the state. How about a gulp plug? Anybody know anything about gulp? Brandon, I'm glad to see you were able to at least jump on here for a minute. I guess Shane got lost. Anyway, yeah, it's gulp. How many guys still throw gulp plugs? Anybody watching, anyway? Tim Kelly, Deep Baby Inn, still in the box. There's no real collector's value to it. So if you got it, I say throw it. And I've got all kinds of crankbaits. Norm Coulter, Little Pig Dog would be great if we could get some of them.
Yeah, is he on here?
He just jumped on here. He saw a
kidding.
crankbait, and I've got one, I think.
I have tried to buy some several times and I always get outbid.
Yeah. Yeah, you better drop a 2 bill mark on it if you want one.
Yeah. That's the little bait you're talking about?
That's the little bait I'm talking about. Not necessarily the color.
Well, that was the only color we had over there.
Really? There's no crawl colors left?
No.
I wonder why.
It is not.
Ronnie Mueller, you better start throwing those gulps. It's not an easy throwing bait, but it will flat catch them, especially around Hartwell, Clark Hill, that area. Black Label Peanut.
I have not tried that. I did see Cliff Pace
Yeah.
posted a picture of one called Ladies Man. Looked pretty good. Looked pretty good.
Maybe I need to bulk up my Black Label collection again.
I don't even own one.
I've got a whole bunch of them over there.
Oh, I know, but I mean...
And it's a reasonably priced balsa bait.
What is it? He's in the low...
$14. $14,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I thought he was in the 20s.
No, I don't. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. You guys have ditch diggers? Yes, sir. We have some, Alan.
We have a few. I'm
Not
waiting.
very many. But
I'm
we
waiting
got a
on
few.
more.
So all right. So now, which one of these little dudes are we gonna start with?
$17.99 is the price on the Black Label.
Okay. I don't know why Justin, why you need those things. You got more zoom than Ed Chambers had.
Probably because he doesn't want to throw the zoom. He wants to find a
Probably.
alternative.
Yeah.
Which is this Brian B's pig crawler is a good substitute for the mutt. Brandon Williams, man, he wants to be a part of this tonight so bad. Question for remote: balsa versus wood in cold water. What kind of wobble are we looking for in cold water? What determines the color, brim, shad, or crawfish? Favorite hooks to put on them because stock hooks are terrible. Wow, there's a lot.
Brandon, you should have did that one at a time. You know we don't comprehend very well.
There's a lot there. That's like that's a whole episode.
I know.
To just dive into that. Balsa versus plastic. Yes. All right, Shane. So, I'll let you get your take on it, and then I'm gonna throw my 2 cents.
Well, me personally, I'm a balsa guy. I like the balsa baits for several reasons. One, there again, this little bait here is probably my favorite. It's the DT6. It has everything that all these other baits have combined into one. Like the Shad Wrap. Everybody always has thrown a number 5 Shad Wrap. That's like the go-to wintertime bait, number 5 Shad Wrap. Well, the biggest complaint about the number 5 Shad Wrap is keeping fish on. Right?
Why is that a complaint? I mean, I've never had that problem out of a number 5 Shad
You've
Wrap.
never lost fish on a number 5 Shad Wrap.
No.
You're the only guy in the world.
But I do.
Period.
I do some different stuff.
Which we
can dive into.
That's what we're talking about. Help me out here. What do you do?
I change the hooks.
Everybody changes the hooks, and they still come off.
I change the hook. Like I put real hooks on there.
Tell them.
What size? That's the number.
That's a number 5.
No, that's the number 6 hook.
That is SR5.
The Shad Wrap.
Shad Wrap 5.
The hook size is a number 6.
Okay.
So you can get away with a number 4.
Okay.
It's neutral buoyant in the water. You don't lose fish, and it still deflects and does everything it's supposed to.
So you're telling me that you don't lose fish on a number 5 Shad Wrap?
With number 4 hooks, I do not.
We're going to go out there and video this.
Let's go.
I want to see it.
Let's go.
When the water temperature gets about 45, we're going to go out there.
We're
going to go out there, and I'm going to go live, and I'm going to film you fishing. Nothing but a number 5 Shad Wrap.
If you can get one to bite.
And see how many of you fish you lose versus fish you land.
Do you throw it on a baitcaster or spinning rod?
No, spinning rod.
Okay.
There
rod?
is a huge difference in that, too.
What spinning rod?
What, just a medium action spinning rod.
Okay. What pound test line?
8.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I right?
Brandon's right. One size larger will make them suspend.
There you go.
That's right.
I know that.
Okay.
And something the same is said for this bait right here. Does the same thing.
What are those have got?
Those have got
4s.
No, those are 5s.
Those are 5s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What brand of number 4 hooks? I typically throw something light. The Aaron Mart's Finesse were good. Hayabusa makes a good hook. Something with a lighter wire. I try to stay away from a heavy wire hook. Like Gamakatsu's still pretty heavy. Mustad, the wire on the hook's pretty. You look for a very fine wire hook.
That's the key to the whole crankbait thing for me, because everybody, you got to think about this. Most of the time when you're cranking, you're using a really light rod. You don't want to have to put a whole lot of pressure on to penetrate the hooks. So therefore, it's like a jerk bait. You go to the thin wire hook. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to penetrate past the barb.
No. Now, okay, number 7, Shad Rap. Do you throw it on a spinning rod or Baitcaster?
Spinning rod. I throw all Shad Raps on spinning rod.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you right now, when it comes to a Shad Rap, spinning rod versus Baitcaster, you get more bites on a spinning rod. Hands down, 100%.
You think it's speed of
I
retrieve?
don't have any idea what it is. I have tried it, tried to do you go out there and throw one and throw the other. I've tried all that crap. I don't know why. And the only thing I can tell you is that you get more bites on a spinning rod than you do a Baitcaster on Shad Rap.
I throw a 7 on it. The only time I'll throw a 5 on a spinning rod. I throw a 7 and a 9 on a Baitcaster, and really, you won't catch me throwing a 5 very often. I prefer to throw a 7. But any of them, I change the hooks to a light wire, bigger hook, to almost to the point the bait sinks. Yes, you lose more, but I feel like you have better hookup and hook catch ratio.
Why would you want the bait to sink?
I don't necessarily want it to sink, but the colder the water gets, it changes. You know, we went through that discussion with jerk baits. Oh, no, you weren't here for that.
Nope, I was not here for that.
You were not here for, okay. So, density of water, temperature, it's just like a mega.
I know why it does it, but why do you want it to?
I don't necessarily want it to sink. But
you just want the bigger hooks.
I want to make sure that I have the best opportunity to get fish to the boat.
I got you.
If I got to break off a Shad Rap at 7:59, I go get another one.
Right.
You know, and most of the time you're not worried about it floating back out of brush.
Well, it's probably not going to.
That's right. All right, so we just woods to water, Zebco 33.
That's the only reason. That's all Todd can handle.
Todd, I'm gonna leave that alone. I know this. His kids' hands are gonna get real cold if he doesn't get a truck and a boat wash.
Man, I'm telling you, Johnson got on him the other day. Told him, said, Hayden, this boat's getting dirtier and dirtier.
I'm telling you.
And he still hadn't washed it.
I mean,
it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it is. Who's Tony Waterhouse?
Tony Waterhouse is one of those high rock guys that kicks everybody's butt when they're on a little crankbait.
Ah. Flicker Shad number 5 do better hookups for some reason. We have missed a whole bunch of stuff here. Man, you had to challenge me. Now we're missing stuff. Come on,
what are you talking about?
You're questioning why I do things.
Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's why we have this podcast.
Sometimes I just do it to do it, okay? I mean, why do you do some things you do?
I do things. There's always a method to the madness. It might not be the correct method, but there's always a reason behind it. Something happened somewhere down the line that made me change something different.
Sometimes I don't have a reason for doing it. It's what works for me.
Okay, whatever.
I mean, there's a lot that goes on in my mind that we can't explain.
Sean, come on up here, buddy. I'll fix you right up with the A-rig.
No, Jason Quinn is not a Panthers hoodie.
Don't look at me. He's talking to you.
This is just an AFCO hoodie. No affiliation with the Panthers whatsoever. I'm glad you jumped on here, Jason. I hope you're doing well. Come see me sometime.
Tommy Streeter. That's who we need to get to talk about this. He catches more big fish than anybody I know.
Listen, I'm no expert in any of this. Yes, woods to water, pink braid for an A-rig.
EWG or round bend?
No, I tend to stay with the round bends.
I cannot stand EWGs. I don't like them for 2 reasons.
They have their place, but I prefer a round bend.
I think the shank on them's too big. It goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago. That they're just, the hook's too thick.
I'll tell you that the last good was like the 1995 triple grips was the last good EWG style hook there was.
Tim Kelly wants to know, do you still run braid backing on the spinning rod for the Shad Rap? I do not, Tim. I'm not a braid fan. I only throw braid when I have to.
If I'm trying to throw a shad wrap, it's 8-pound test line, and I throw a K9 8-pound test. It's a fluorocarbon that doesn't have quite as bad a memory.
This straight fluorocarbon,
but
though.
it's straight, no
Yeah.
braid.
Right. Landed 13 on a shad wrap of high rock 2 weeks ago. 8 in about 30 minutes.
Tommy Streeter, you just brought up a dinosaur there, number 8 shad
Number
wrap.
8 shad wrap. That was always a good one.
Mm-hmm. I still got one or two.
I got a whole bunch of them. I got one box at home that's nothing but shad wraps that hadn't been out of the basement in 5 years. Fact.
Why not?
That's why not.
Because of DT6.
Because of DT6.
Yeah, I get it. Might be time to bring back that shad wrap, though.
It might be.
You never know.
Oh, I know. They bite it. I promise you, it catches fish.
Luke Helms, I don't typically throw mono on a crankbait. Never really have.
I throw mono on one thing.
Top water.
Top water. That's it.
I still think it's cost you some money.
No.
That's another debate for a different day. Jason, that's a question for you. I want to hear your opinion. Top water, mono or braid?
Who's that?
Jason Quinn.
We should have got him up here tonight.
I've been trying to get him up here. He's a very busy individual these days.
Yeah.
Flooring business is keeping him pretty busy.
Man,
Colors. Brandon Williams wants to know colors in wintertime.
depends on the water temperature for me.
Water temperature.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so dive into that a little bit.
Well, for me, right now, I think the fish are feeding, especially at Lake Norman. I'm talking about here. Like I said earlier, I caught one the other day that was spitting up a little brim. So right now, I'm throwing brim imitators, like this little guy right here. It's the DT4. It's the color they came out with last year. It's called Root Beer Crawdad. It mimics every little brim in every lake around. I mean, it's got a green pumpkin back, little scale pattern, orange belly. That's probably the one I start with. And like there again at Norman right now, the lake's down. It's down about 4 feet and it's supposed to continue to fall. Normal places where I throw the DT6, right now I can get by with the 4. Is there a difference in the bait? Absolutely. Not only the depth range of the bait, but this bait here has a totally different wobble than the DT6. This here is a little more wide, like a lot of people throw a 1.5 square bill, whether it's a Lucky Craft or a Strike King, whatever. That bait there is kind of has the same wobble as that, whereas the DT6 it's a lot tighter, similar to the Shad Wrap, not quite as tight as the Shad Wrap, but to me that bait just does a lot better job versus the Shad Wrap. And that's just that's my opinion. Everybody's got one, but that happens to be mine.
You know what they say.
Yeah, I do.
All right. So, Jody.
See there, Quinn. Now, see there? Quinn answered you.
Yeah, I see that.
See
I
there?
see. He and I are gonna have to. We're gonna have to have a little talk about that. I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, I get the principle behind it, but I guess it comes down to what top water we're talking.
Nah, don't matter.
All right, Jody Wright likes the square bill in the winter with a medium heavy cranking Denali covert. Do y'all like heavier rods for that? No, in the wintertime, I would almost go back to old school glass rod.
I'm never a noodle guy. I like my rods. They're a little bit stiffer than most. I mean, we've.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I think they all have a purpose, though.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they do.
a noodle rod.
100%.
A noodle rod will save you.
Probably.
Sometimes.
Probably. Those ones that are skin hooked, you probably got more of a chance of landing them than you do with something a little stiffer.
I mean, if I'm throwing a rattle trap, like a little rattle trap, I like a buggy whip. That way there's no question. What speed reel?
That's all you right there. You go ahead.
Why is that all me?
Because, go ahead.
I'm backwards.
I just nominated.
I mean, there's for me, I throw a 6.4 or 6.8 lose most of the time. the BB1 Pro or a Custom Pro and a 6/8 1. If it gets real cold or I'm throwing an off-the-wall bait, I'll back down to a 5/6.
Yeah, see, I can't.
And when I say off-the-wall bait, I'm talking like a tap or the Fritz side 7 or 9. I mean,
See, I cannot stand those 5/6 gear ratios because I feel like when I'm winding, when I do hook a fish, I feel like I get in a hurry because I feel like I can't catch up.
I get you.
So I'm the 6/8 to 1. Most 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Unless it's jig or something like that, then I throw that the 7/5 to 1, things like that. But when I'm cranking, I like the 6/8 to 1.
No, and I agree most of the time. Now, like I said, for throwing a tap or something, I like slower. I mean, Shad Rap, I've seen it matter with Shad Rap.
I bought a Revo winch last year, put it on the rod, took it fishing, came home, took it off the rod. It's still sitting in my garage.
Yeah. Yeah. Rod and line for a DT6. Jason Call wants to know.
What's that?
Rod and line for a DT6.
Line for me is always 12-pound Beeline Tactical. Rod is, Dave and I started making some rods this year, and they're in the development stages. But if I was going to say something on hand, we just got in a brand new shipment of Abu Garcia Veritas. They're not Veritas, they're Veracities, aren't they?
No, they're Veritas tournament editions.
Okay, the tournament editions.
PLX.
They have a 7-foot medium in that works really good for a DT6. Or you can talk to David if you can con him into building you one of what we've been playing with for about probably a year now, close to it.
I mean, it's just I hadn't wanted to commit to it, but if the money's right, I'll build one.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about that right now.
I was just saying, we can make something happen.
There again, that the rod that I like is just a touch stiffer, and somebody else may like a rod that's just a little bit lighter. That's the beauty side of getting a custom built rod. You can get, what action you want. What was the other part of that question? Oh, that's all. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. You got 2 people that want to buy that winch off of you.
It's for sale.
Keith DeBose said he'd take it. Billy J. Terry said he wanted to get that winch. I'll let y'all figure that out.
Yep.
Off air. We got 106 people that don't want to have to deal
They
with
don't want to hear me sell a reel, do they?
bargain bin a reel off over here. Gene and Chris, I agree with both of you. It does make it easier for deep cranking with a slower reel. I just have a hard time throwing a slower reel when I'm fishing deep.
Yeah.
I know it costs me some fish. I get it. I just prefer to pull instead of wind.
Jason Land, what they biting on Wiley?
Evidently, they're biting a little bit more than they are at Norman.
No, not really.
16, 12, bunch of 12s.
Well, there was a bunch of 11s at Norman.
Yeah.
And a 14.
Yeah. All right. What are they biting? Jason, you should come down here and throw a chatterbait and a spinnerbait. You'll catch fish.
And a spook.
And a spook.
Yeah. They own it.
They're on it.
Hashtag crushing
it. Yeah. Anything for the Tiger King.
That's right. He's got him a new partner in crime.
Who?
Jason Land.
Who is it?
I'm not going to reveal that. I'll let Jason.
Oh boy.
I'll let Jason do that when he wants to. But I got pictures to prove it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm not even.
Okay, so what else we got on here? Let's talk about. We've talked about the DT6, and we've talked about the wooden baits. How about you talk about the plastic baits?
Man, I don't know any. What do you want to know about plastic? What do you want to talk about?
You talk about
the Speedy.
This
is a Lake Wiley go-to.
The Speedy.
That's your bait.
The rock crawler. I love the rock
I've never
crawler.
caught a fish on a rock crawler. I mean,
what?
I swear.
Have you never thrown one?
Not much.
Guys out there who loves the rock crawler? I mean, come on.
I mean, I haven't thrown. I mean, really and truly, I'm more suited in this area.
You serious? You've never?
Nope.
I mean, here's my thing. When I'm trying to fish deeper than this will go,
I know that's your
I
go-to.
go to this bait.
See, that's where for me, I'd pick up a number 9 Shad Rap and start fishing.
Well, how deep can you get a number 9 Shad Rap?
10.
You can get it that deep?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
On 10-pound test
Okay,
line.
look there. Hey, look, everybody loves the rock crawler.
Listen, I don't doubt it.
You're missing out.
I
Why are you so sensitive tonight?
I'm not.
Do you need a hug?
No, I don't need a hug. If you hug me, I'm slapping you right here on the. Y'all want to see Shane get slapped?
No, but yeah, really, y'all. I like to go to the rock crawler, just for the simple fact is it gets down just a little bit deeper, and everybody's thrown the old school wiggle wart. Like I said, if you're fortunate enough to have a few old wiggle warts, better hang on to them. If not, this right here is about as close as you can get. So that's kind of what I go to when I'm trying to get to that 8 to 10 foot range. This is a 4 to 8 footer, and that's just because that's just what I grabbed over there. There's another model that goes, I think it's 8 to 12 or 10 to 14 or something like that.
They do the deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 9 to 14.
Okay, 9 to 14,
Yeah.
whatever.
It just dawned on me. We got a jig guy talking about crankbaits. This is kind of comical.
I like cranking. I love cranking this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rich, you're exactly right. But the only bad thing about that is when you start getting leaves on your crankbait, you know it's time to be cranking.
Yeah. You're that, and 9 times out of 10, you're in the right area, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's when you're getting aggravated, slapping it. Just be careful if you slap this bait on the water because you'll come back with just the bill.
Yep.
But
All right, so they want to know that Brandon says there's better colors in the rock crawler than there are in wigglewort, unless you know a good painter, which I know a good one.
I know a couple.
I know one that's easy to deal with.
He is very easy to deal with.
There's
You're
others
right.
out there that are good that aren't quite so easy.
Yeah, I agree.
And not quite as close either.
I agree. I mean, you can't beat pickup service.
No, you can't.
Pick up and drop off. You can't beat that.
He's here weekly. Yeah, if you guys need anything painted, bring it to me. Tell me what you want, and I got a guy. We can make that happen. I just take no responsibilities if you don't get the baits.
That's terrible.
Gene gave you a shout out. You won a lot of money cranking.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I've done well.
Well.
This time of year, I'm not the deep guy. I want to be able to win as much money as he has deep cranking. If I could do that, get both of that figured out, I'd be in good shape.
Listen, you could get it both figured out. The problem, one thing I have about Determined is you cannot master both.
Sure you can.
No, you
Sure
cannot
you can.
master both.
Sure you can. Eric Richards, colors at Norman for the rock crawler. Man, this one right here is probably my favorite for Norman. I normally don't throw it till it gets a little bit colder. Water temperature right now is around 55, 56. I wanted to get around 50 before I kind of switch to the reds. Everybody says, oh, you got to have dirty water to throw red. No, you don't. All you need is the water to get cold. And this right here is it's called Red River Crawl. It's really popular color. And they have like the old Phantom Reds and the Phantom Greens, that the same colors that there again the wiggle warts used to have back in the day. And if you're fishing the bottom end of Norman down there where it's clear, it's hard to beat those translucent colors. But you get those cloudy days and you need a little bit more color to show up, then you go to that. That's just kind of my what would you call it?
Your opinion.
My opinion. There we go. Let's use that opinion.
Jody, I think my statement wasn't about shallow cranking. You're not going to master deep cranking and then go master shallow fishing. I mean, you can be good at both, but to get to the point where you master both, that's a lot of time and a lot of brain power that I don't have.
Especially the brain power.
I'll tell you.
I'm lacking in that department bad.
I mean, there's a lot of science behind all of it.
Oh, yeah. But it's good times.
Anyway, so yeah, the speed trap, whichever variation you choose to go with is another good solid bait around here for that.
It's not just around here, man. I'm gonna tell you something. When you go, it was shocking for me the first time that I went. We went out on an elite event. I don't remember what year it was. It's probably, I want to say it was 17. We went to Cherokee Lake in Tennessee.
They don't know what they are.
They'd never seen this bait.
No.
David Williams made top 10 throwing it. I finished, I think, 20th or 22nd on the DT6. And everybody else is fishing offshore, throwing swim baits, throwing drop shots. I mean, obviously, it was one that way.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that you couldn't catch them on the bank. It's this little bait right here is one that once you get out of our region right here, you can't even buy it.
I'll tell you a story about that. So Kelly Albert, who is the owner of K9 Fishing, we were talking about something. So he brought up Old Hickory, and he cranks Old Hickory and was throwing this bait and that bait. And I said, "Man, have you ever tried speed trap?" He said, "What's that?"
Yeah,
I said, "What do you mean? What's that?"
Yeah.
He said, "I've never heard of it." I said, "Go to your local tackle store and go buy a Lure Jensen speed trap." He's like, "I don't even know if we've got them." I'm like, "Well, if you don't have them, I'll send you some." So he goes down to he said literally at the bottom row, there were packs of speed traps, the original Mexican ones.
Oh, Lord.
With dust piled on them.
Oh.
He calls and says, "Is this what you're talking about?" Sends me a picture. I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." So go throw it. He won the next 2 tournaments on that bait.
Yeah. They never see it up there.
I mean, it's a good go-to.
I don't know why it's such a regional thing, but it is. Once you get out of North Carolina, South Carolina, you go somewhere and ask for a speed trap, they look at you like you got 3 heads. I don't know why, but, I mean...
Luke Helms, we have both speedies in rattling and silent. There's a place for both. The silent works very well in clear water, and a lot of when you have a lot of pressure. I don't know that it necessarily matters.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Gene Webster would be one to comment on the rattle versus silent and all of that, because I just kind of fish and let the fish tell me.
Right.
I mean, I've got a couple of old speed traps that are doctored.
Yeah.
That work pretty good. But
I've never doctored a speed trap.
Never have?
Mm-mm.
Huh. There's not much to do to them. Yeah, Chris Marshall's another speed trap guru. Aaron Martin Stewart at the Classic in Oklahoma several years ago.
I didn't know that.
Did you not know that?
I did not.
What was that, the Grand Lake Classic?
Had to be.
That was cold, muddy water.
Was it muddy?
I'm pretty sure it was muddy.
Might have been.
I don't remember.
I've slept since then.
I have a hard time remembering from day to day what's up.
Okay.
Chris Marshall said it's old news.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
He's like the worst liar I know. He's terrible. I mean, he's just not good at it.
Oh, well.
Chris, I'm just messing with you.
Jody, I'm sure Rojas was throwing that speed trap on Wiley in the Classic in 2004 because he heard that it was a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. It probably never went anywhere else with him either. He threw it here, and then when he left, it was gone.
I mean, it'll catch them year round here. That's what's
absolutely. People just don't do
it. It will catch them year round. If you get a random storm in the summertime that raises the water level and makes it muddy, they'll still bite it. It's weird.
Yeah. Never
seen anything as crazy. All right, so Fritz side 5s. We kind of dove into that.
We talked about that a little bit.
I hadn't really tested this to its full potential. I mean, aside from the bills breaking, what else you know about it?
It catches fish. It casts well.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Other than that, I don't really know.
So we've determined balsa over plastic.
I mean, I like balsa versus over plastic.
Balsa baits are so expensive that the only time to really throw them is when money's on the line.
You're right about that.
I mean, there's...
Especially when you get some handmades like Norm Coulter. I hope he's still on here. You know,
Yeah.
Cliff Pace with, Black Label.
Well, and I've seen some... I got to dive into that and see if Cliff has got some of the new colors he's put out there on the available.
Yeah.
I've seen some really cool colors. The OG Slim.
The jury's out on that for me. I bought a bunch last year, and I can honestly say I don't think I've ever tied it on.
I've thrown it a little bit. I'm not a big fan, personally.
Why does it not?
It's just,
What does it not do? Greenfish. I forgot about them.
Yep, greenfish.
Yeah.
That
They got a big
that
G.
That G flat's pretty
The
good.
big G flat's really, really good. I forgot all about John.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. That it's just, to me, something about it just didn't. I got to play with it some more to really have a educated opinion. But
The
OG Slim. I'm not overly. It just was one of those that I tied it on. I was like, this isn't impressive, and I cut it off and went back to something else.
Yeah.
Alan Cook, the flat A was mentioned earlier. That's a bait that we choose not to speak on. It is a fish catcher, especially if you got the good colors. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about there, other than throwing.
On the Malay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did, Brandon. We hunted everywhere for that Kentucky Blue. Brandon and I, we went down there and practiced for I think it was a VFL. And Brandon started whacking them behind me on the Fritz side, Kentucky Blue. And, man, we spent the whole rest of that afternoon trying to find them. That's when it first came out, man. It was impossible. I think somebody wound up having one, and Brandon had one, and then we wound up not fishing the tournament.
Oh, boy. Keith the Bows. Yeah, Mountain Dew is a good color.
Zach Lamb, what crankbaits are you referring to as the good colors? Yeah, that's right, Brandon. Kentucky Blue.
Rista wraps. That's another bait you don't hear a lot about anymore.
Nope, sure don't. I got some of those too. What's the little bitty one?
The 4, the 5.
I got some of those at home.
You got any of the CJ specials?
Nope, I do not.
Yeah, those are. He was back doing it last year.
Flat A.
What color? What colors do you
What's
like?
What's a flat A?
I know better now.
My favorite one. You remember? I can't remember what it's called, but they made a Fire Tiger one. Except for the stripes on it were red instead of black.
I've got like 30 of those. You want some?
that one, and the old the pearl size and the greenback, the one that's got Mark Davis's name on it.
I think that's Mountain Dew.
Okay, that one there's pretty bad.
I don't have any in the pack to know.
I would like to have some of those.
What about sun perch?
I don't know that I've ever thrown that.
Oh, that's a good one. Sun perch is a good one. It's hard to find though. You can't go wrong with crawdad color in most anything in the wintertime.
That's right. I agree with you there.
Oh, Chris Marshall and the Speed Shad.
I forgot all about that bait. That bait used to be death out here.
Yeah, I don't know about the Speed Shad there. Chris Marshall knows a little bit more than I do. I know I've got a few of them.
What's your take on the Waterwood custom baits? What you looking at me for?
You really want to go down that road?
I didn't. Alan Cook asked. I didn't ask. I was just preventing you from overlooking that question.
I was going to leave that question alone because my mom always told me if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
No, that's awful. Now, see, don't start that.
No, I mean, honestly, it's a good bait. It's pretty. It's just a lot of money for what it is. Yes, I sold them for a little while, and then I got out of it. I'll be honest with you. I'm $40 for a crankbait. Have at it.
But they are good, solid baits.
They are solid. They are
run
solid.
really well. They do catch fish.
Just expensive.
It's just, it's kind of I tell you what, it reminded me of. I remember when Lucky Craft first came on the scene, and people were saying, "I'm not paying $12 for a bait. I'm just not doing it." Because that's when most baits were $3, $4.
A speed trap was $5.99.
Yeah, and then the Waterwood is, like I said, it reminds me of the Lucky Craft thing. It's in a different price range of its own because yes, it is so much more expensive than everything else, and we as fishermen feel like we got to have that.
Here's my take on it. This is my honest opinion. You can take and go buy a love plug or a baby pig and go spend $150 to $300 on a bait, or you can go pick up a Brian Beast for $26.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go buy a Zoom crankbait and pick up a Black Label for $16.99. I mean, do I have some of each of the others that mentioned? Yeah. Do I fish them? Not as much as I fish some of this other DT6.
Right.
Brandon, why do you got to bring up the Jabberjaw? That's top secret information, sir.
No, we got a bunch of those here. We need to sell them.
We do. Yeah, anyway, so back to Waterwood. I feel like if you got the money, you want to spend the money on it, have at it. Is it a bad bait? No. Is it trash? No. I'm not going to say that because there's a lot of time and effort put into the craftsmanship behind them, and I'm never going to discount somebody for their artistic abilities.
Yeah, they are very, very nice looking baits.
Do I feel the need to go spend $40 as opposed to $26? I personally do not. You may tell me different.
No, I understand. It's opinion. It all boils down to, is that your cup of tea?
That Daniel Cook, yes, there were a few of them that were target practice on Facebook, and I think there was a slight miscommunication behind that, but we'll leave that one alone too. I'd hate to get more phone calls. Anyway, back to the Jabberjaw. I'm telling you.
I haven't thrown one.
It looks goofy, and I know that it's one of those things that everybody says catching fishermen, it works. Brandon Williams, it works, is all I'm going to say.
Sounds to me like he whipped your butt on it.
We fished a fall cat last year, and it was like the only crankbait they would bite.
Now, is that like a dirty water bait?
It was clear.
And they still bit it?
It was clear.
And for those of you that don't know, the Jabberjaw, if you haven't seen it, it looks like it's a crankbait, but it looks like it has a chatterbait blade for a bill.
The blade moves.
And it vibrates back and forth like a chatterbait. And like I said,
I will say that it is the first crankbait in a long time that I've seen a fish take to the gullet.
Eat it.
I mean, they had it surgery style.
Like he had,
and he had one.
Brandon, you know better than that. You never buy one of anything.
He had
you
one.
Always buy two. You never buy one.
You can't reel it fat. It's a field bait. You cannot burn it. But it's interesting, to say the least.
Gotcha.
All right, so we've had some fun. We've had some laughs.
Had a good time so far.
Well,
did you miss a question somewhere?
Don't know if you guys have any Academy in your parts, but they make a Model M crank that's awesome. Or a Rapala number 5 or number 7. Yes, yeah. We've discussed the Shad Rap at nauseum tonight. Unfortunately, that is just, man, it's one of the OG.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, it's one of the best. Alan Cook, Yeah, I think everybody wishes Excalibur still made their lipless
Get
baits.
that XR50. I still got a bunch of those.
I sold my last handful of them.
See, I avoided that. Everybody was trying to buy them and
sell them.
Nope.
I'll put one in your hand. This is good.
Nope.
I'll put one in your hand. This is good.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm good. You probably can't get a premium for them anymore now since Booyah.
I know somebody will pay you a premium for him, and he's real close to home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep mine. I'm good.
Well, that's fine. Oh, so you did have one spare. Brandon was holding out on me that day.
Golly.
I think I might have caught one fish that helped that day, but he did put on a clinic with that little bait. That was.
What is that question there? What type of setup do you use? What do you mean, Michael?
Yeah, we need
setup for what? We've talked about 6 or 8 different baits here, and some of them you can use the same setup on. Some of them you got to change it up a little bit.
All right, while we wait on that question to come in, any more shallow cranking?
Shallow cranking.
7 foot.
7 foot medium.
/ medium heavy ish.
7 foot medium, like a fast
medium
action.
fast is
medium
a good
fast
one.
is probably
Yeah.
your best all around to throw just about any of these baits on versus maybe not the rock crawler. You need something a little bigger for that. But that and what we decide on the reel, 6/8 to 1 reel.
6/8's pretty solid. 6'4", 6'8", somewhere in that range.
Somewhere in that range.
Jason Gibson, you don't. You just buy more than one.
Well, in his case, you don't throw in the rocks.
Well, object is in the water. That's the first start.
Skinny P is a good
pH lures.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's another.
Yeah, I think they're out of Indiana.
Yeah, it's similar to Black Label, G Flat. It falls into that same category.
Gotcha.
Yeah, don't hit it on the trolling motor is another good step.
Oh, gosh.
Rocks is right. No, Rocks is wrong.
No, he's talking about casting into the rocks.
Yeah, well.
That's how he broke his.
Yeah. Listen, Derek Lilly broke one reeling it.
Really?
We were fishing some natural rock that was under the water, and he throws up there, and he's whining, and he's like, it's limp. I'm like, well, set the hook, catch up to it, do something. And he winds up to the boat, and literally, it's just the bait.
Bill gone,
turned it into a great-looking lipless. I mean, I don't know. 87 viewers. We got. What else y'all want to know about crankbaits? We'll do our best to give you honest information.
I gotta take a break real quick.
Where you go? You're leaving me to it.
You just hold on a minute. I'll be back a second.
Oh boy. Yeah. Shane had to make a mad dash. I don't know where he's going. He might come back with something else we missed. All right. So, any other shallow water, cold water cranking baits or ideas we have not covered? What do y'all want to know? Talk about line size and how it affects the diving depth. Okay, Brandon, that's a good point. Fluoro versus mono versus wood versus rock. We did the fluorocarbon versus monofilament. You know, we talked in jerkbait episode about fluorocarbon sinking, monofilament floating. Your crankbaits can dive deeper with fluorocarbon line. The line diameter matters. For me, I tend to stay with 12 pound most of the time unless it's a shad wrap. Shane may tell me something different when he comes back. Line size.
What are we doing?
Line size.
On cranking?
Yeah.
It's 12 for me.
12's a good solid.
12-pound fluorocarbon.
Do you ever go to 15?
No.
You don't ever.
I don't. I mean.
You don't. Do you crank a lot of laydowns?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I could obviously see where that would be a thing, you know, if you wanted to crank a laydown to go to heavier line, because You're not.
Kind of like Slim Shady in a
Yeah,
tree
you're
with
not-
20-pound test.
Yeah, but that's not a wintertime thing.
No, it's not. It's more of a springtime.
That's right.
Okay, when do you swap from shad patterns to crawl patterns?
For me, that is, I like the water temperature to be close to 50. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that they won't bite a crawl pattern right now, because they will. It's just, it's a me thing. I guess the best way to say it would be I have thresholds versus when I switch and when I don't switch. And once the water temperature gets closer to 50 than it is, say 55, I'll switch to a crawl color, whether it be Rapala makes one called Mule. It's in I think it's in Ike's colors.
That's a good neutral color.
Mule is a crawl color, and from there I just go straight to the red, like Demon or
red crawl.
Yeah, red crawl, anything like that. But the closer to 50, the more I try to go to the crawl patterns.
All right. I'm getting there.
Whoa, there it was. You just passed it.
I know. Tim
When
Harrington.
you throw lipless. That is definitely your question.
Is it though? I don't throw a lipless bait.
I throw a rattle trap or a lipless bait, however you'd like to say it,
You only throw it around grass.
in the grass.
That's all. So for me, I found that a small 1/4 ounce rattle trap, red eye shad, rattling wrap is really good in the fall when the fish are in bait in the backs of the creeks. It's a easy target. You can wind it at a high speed, and they don't have to. They just eat it.
Yeah.
There's no finesse of grub. You throw a grub in there and have to. No. Shh.
Can't talk about that.
Fat Albert.
Oh.
I mean, everybody around here knows about a grub.
All these people aren't around here.
They are.
What's wrong with you?
Most of them are. Anyway, so really for me, that's a more of a when they're feeding on shad, aka schooling, like when they won't bite topwater kind of deal. I throw it on a noodle rod, and you won't typically catch me running down the bank throwing a lipless in place of a square bill or
Book
crankbait.
of Lies.
What? Book of Lies. Yeah.
What about the shad wrap? Yeah, that was the first bait we talked about.
All right. Dave Calvert. Preference on line tie locate. Now he's really getting scientific.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, I mean, are you too tired or what? I mean,
No, I mean, here's the thing. Most of your line ties on plastic baits are on the bill. Look at them. Oh,
that one is on the body.
okay.
That one is on the body.
That one's on the bill.
That one is
That
on
was
the
on the bill.
Well, you're 0 for 2 there.
Okay. Well, anyway, then, Book of Lies. Keith the Bow said it. Okay, let me just do it like this. I have no preference. How about that?
I mean, here's the thing. It's not something you can change.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? All you can do is tweak it so that you can get it to run right. We should have had you do a crankbait tuning 101.
No. We're okay with that.
Okay. Brandon, now you're really getting technical. Do you change the hook
He's
size?
such a nerd.
I'm telling you. One night without him, and we still got to go nerd status. I mean, do you change the hook size?
When you're shallow water cranking in the fall, in the wintertime, I'm not trying to make the bait suspend. I mean, I guess you could probably put a heavier hook on the front to make the bait get a little deeper, maybe bang off stuff a little better. But you're not doing that to try to make the bait suspend. So, because you're just slinging it and bringing it. Not a whole lot of finesse to it, I don't think.
So when you throw a shallow crankbait, you just throw it out there and wind it back.
Well, I mean, you stop it and things like that, but it don't stop long enough to suspend. Do you wind yours down there and stop it and just sit there with it? Like,
not to that extent, but I mean,
I'll crank it and stop it. Crank it and stop it and snap it, but I mean.
Do you ever pull?
No.
You don't ever just pull and then wind and pull.
Pull with the reel?
Okay.
You telling me that pulling it gives it a different action than winding it?
It does.
You're high.
Okay. Split rings, clips, swivels.
I'm split ring guy. I'm afraid that the snaps will straighten out on me and I'll lose the fish.
So on a speed trap, do you change the snap and go?
I don't throw a speed trap.
That is a factual statement. I've
is.
never seen him throw a speed trap, so that's a fair stop and go in cold water. Spro Cellmate is a very good fall shad color. Gene Barber made a comment. Gene, if you go look in some of the places that they used to school, you might be surprised at what you'll find.
They're starting to do it a little bit.
We ran into it in
We did.
the very, very back of a place. They ain't schooled there in
A long time.
very long time and didn't have a bait to throw at them. There's still some of that happens. Cellmate is a very good fall color around here. It's overlooked.
Very.
Very overlooked. All right, so split ring. Have you ever tried taking the split ring off and throwing your famous loop knot?
On a crankbait?
Yeah.
I have not.
Interesting. We should try that sometime.
Do you use a loop knot? Jeff, I use a loop knot on jerkbait. I've never tried it on crankbait.
I wonder if it would hunt
know.
a little bit more.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try it and see.
Free it up. I'll let you be the test dummy. I still don't necessarily trust that loop knot. I haven't lost a fish on it yet. There's something about line tying to line that scares me.
When you throw top water like pop water and stuff, you don't tie a loop knot.
I have started to, yes. I'm with you.
Yeah, see?
Yes, I do, but it's still, I get worried when like the night that we caught that big giant one out here on it, and it's like,
I get it.
Get the net, Shane. Where's the net? You know?
Oh, I get it.
You still have those moments.
Oh, yeah. You do.
I mean, what do you throw a popper on?
What do you mean?
Like, what? You throw it on 20.
Oh, line?
Yeah.
20-pound mono.
But you typically throw a bigger.
The P70.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to throw that little thing on 20-pound line.
No, you can't. It won't cast.
I throw it on
tried.
12. I throw
12, 15, depending on. P-Line came out with a top water line this year. The 15 and the P-Line top water line works just fine for the small, like the splash it type baits and things like that. Ricos, it works good for that. I mean, we're getting totally off.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Anyway, so somebody brought up loop knot. I asked a question.
Yeah, I get it. We went down that road. It's okay.
Yep. That's the joys of this. We
That's
get
right.
we get to make our own roads. Yeah. All right. So, Robin Carrico, 15-pound big game. He throws 15-pound big game on everything. A 15-pound big game or braid. Period. He knows nothing else.
He keeps it simple. There's nothing wrong with that. I seen somebody posted that on there a minute ago.
Yep.
They use the kiss. There it is. The
Keep it
kiss
simple,
method.
stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's right.
You know, I look at where fishing has gone over the years. I wonder if we've not overthought it.
We overthink everything.
I mean, really, truly.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, what makes a medium action fast tip rod do more than a medium action rod? That's not fast tip. I mean, you could debate that versus red crankbaits versus chartreuse black crankbaits. You could do that forever. And it's my favorite saying about that is trying to reinvent the wheel.
what works for you may not work for me.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
That's
Just like,
right.
top water. You throw mono.
Yep.
Okay? I throw mono on a popper and a prop bait. And that's it. The rest of it's all braid.
Well, I mean,
But you pick up your top water rod and pick up my top water rod. You use the line as your forgiveness. I use the rod as my forgiveness.
yeah, when you try to not get it jerked out of your hand when you're casting.
That well, once or twice. They want to know when the next 1v1 is or whatever.
I don't know. We're waiting on David.
What?
We're waiting on David. He's scared.
I'm not scared. I said when.
I don't know. There quite possibly may be something Wednesday.
Okay, we'll put it out there. Brandon Card and
Roy, gosh.
Wacky Riggers Roy
Wacky, yeah, I don't know why I can't remember. Roy Barrow.
have challenged Shane and Jerry Bono, which Jerry don't take offenses, but I don't even know how he got drug into this mix.
Because he's a trash talker.
Okay. Have challenged on High Rock on Wednesday.
And if we can get everything worked out.
If I can get the store covered, because Wednesday is the day that Shane and I typically work.
Mm-hmm.
Thursdays and Fridays are play days. If I can get that worked out, we will try to make High Rock happen. I will know tomorrow. We'll put a post out tomorrow, so look for that. As far as our 1v1 at this infamous Lake Burton that you talk about,
Mm-hmm.
what's the deal there?
Oh, whenever you're not afraid.
I'm not afraid. I've been waiting on you for a month and a half now.
Waiting on me, you backing up, Jack.
They're the 1v1 tournament of champions.
Yeah, we really need to hammer that out and get that scheduled.
We will hammer that out tomorrow. I'll send a group text to those of you that participated.
You gonna let everybody that participated do it, or just people that have actually won?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
Tournament of champions would be...
well, there's only been a couple guys that have fished that didn't actually win one.
Okay, Jason Land won.
Jason won.
Joey won. I won. You've won. There's 4 of us. Dylan didn't win. Seawright didn't win. Hamrick didn't win.
And Josh.
And Josh Good did not win.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't care. Do whichever. Don't matter.
What do you want? We were going to throw 4 up and make it happen?
That's fine with me. I don't care.
All right, I'll send out a text this week. Joey, Jason, I know y'all have been on here. Check your phones. We're going to make something happen.
Yep. And while we're in the midst of wrapping this thing up, I got a little something we need to talk about. The Santa Claus tournament that was at Lake Norman last year, I've gotten a lot of calls and stuff about the Santa Claus tournament this year. I spoke with Al Odom, who is the national director for Fishers and Men, who hosted the tournament last year, and they did the weigh-in, and they handled where all the toys and stuff went for the kids. I spoke with him the other day, and the Santa Claus tournament has sadly been canceled for this year. They had some logistic issues with the trailer and some other things go on that's out of their control. He didn't really want to elaborate on what it was, and I didn't pry because it's not in my business. But, hopefully, he did say that next year there will be one. So guys, just please don't, forget about that tournament. We all need to come together for that cause every year. I'm not real good at giving speeches like this.
No, man, here's the deal. It unfortunately, it fell through this year, but everybody, I think, watching has a heart for kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And listen, there's a tournament on Wiley this Saturday. It's a short tournament. It's toys for kids. I will share the post tonight. It's going to be out of Ebenezer. If you guys want to do something to benefit kids, come join that tournament. I can pull it up real quick and read off the information. Nikki Hames, who fishes BFLs, they put it on every year. And they do a lot for kids in the Gaffney, Spartanburg area. If you guys want to do something, to support kids that are not fortunate enough to have Christmas or anything of that nature, jump on that. I don't know about Tim. I don't know about Hank's tournament. I think that's more geared for wounded warriors, and I'm not sure that there's a mind of Christmas season. I don't know. I haven't talked to Hank about it. Maybe one of you guys can reach out to him and see what he's willing to do on that. December 4th, it's actually out of Buster Boyd this year. Again, blast off 7 a.m. weigh-in at 1 p.m., $60 per team. It's a 50-50 payout. I'll post it so that if you got questions, you can get in touch with the two guys that are in charge. They will have hot dogs at weigh-in. It says drinks not provided. So anybody watching want to come out and jump into that for a good cause, come on. It'll be a fun tournament out here. But anyway, that's our sad and unfortunate news for this evening. Do you have anything else to add?
Nope, not that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Anthony Spivey brought up Fatal 4-Way for the title. I feel like that's more of a wrestling type comment.
Y'all definitely would lose that.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
To
get the Jimmy Superfly snooker moves out on you.
4-way ladder match. I mean, I like the idea of keeping it to the ones that won. I mean,
I'm good with that.
I don't know that everybody that participated will come back.
They may not. But that's okay, too. Brandon wants a special guest. Brandon, you can't be the referee. You're just going to be my tag team partner.
I'll tell you what, if we do it 4, we probably could do it live.
You know what we could do? Is there just 4 of us?
Mm-hmm.
What we could do is draw for partners and have a team tournament and have somebody in each boat to do it live.
Only way I'm doing it is if I draw you, though.
Oh, no.
I'm not because I'm just saying because I don't want to give up. I don't know that I want to give up. I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Well, nobody said it's going to be on Wiley.
That's true. That's true. But it could be on Wiley.
It could be on Wiley.
And we could do an ending thing here. It's close to home.
I like that.
We could bring my smoker up here, or I can get with Gaspo Dixon and do some barbecue or something. We can put something together and have everybody that watches do an open house.
That's a good idea.
And then we'll just stay up here late and do it that way.
That's a good idea. But still, yeah, we can still do a team tournament out here. It would be easier to do 2 boats than it would be to do 4.
It would, but then you don't decide the champion.
But is it really about that, or is it just about going out there and let's have some fun?
I mean, I'd like to say, hey, I am this year's overall, much like I'm sure you would.
Last time I looked, it's still mine.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Here we go with that again. You're right. It is. Because it's only taking you a month and a half to even name a lake. Now I got to get the win out of you.
Good luck. That's all I can tell you.
Tag team TV champs.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
All right. We'll make some posts this week as we get everything wrapped up. Potentially Wednesday, come out fish the charity event this Saturday on Wiley. It's a half day. It's not going to tie up all your time. And we'll see you guys next week. Rusty Hooks Live, where our hooks may be rusty, but our points are always sharp. All these baits can be found on the website, rustyhookstackle.com. We will see you guys.
Or just come here and get them.
Or come to the store and get them. Either way. See you guys next week.